Kim is eager to learn and grow. She is determined to make Friendsview better. While we can appreciate employees who have those sorts of things going for them, she made one final comment. Kim is a great employee for Friendsview. Kim, tell us a little bit about what you do around here and what you're planning to do with the scholarship that you do.
Hello. So some of you may know me. I work down in health services. I do staffing. So that includes hiring, getting people through orientation and started on campus, and then doing payroll, scheduling, and all that kind of stuff, and reminding supervisors to get annual reviews done, and just helping all management to stay on track with things we need to do for our staff. Something that so the scholarship that I got was to learn how to be this amazing place to work. And you know, we all think that it's a great place to work, but we want the whole entire community of Newburgh and even out further to know how great it is. And so this will hopefully teach us all how to do that better. And one scholarship actually paid, we just had to pay once, and we can invite as many people on staff that we want. And last Friday we had 10 people attend and watch. So, and then every other Friday we'll have a new webinar on this learning, and then we can have more people learn and grow. I don't like pictures, as you can see.
Oh, I just messed this up. I tried to go backwards and I don't know where I got to. Somebody else will have to fix that. Anyway, that's because I introduced them in reverse order from what that said, and I didn't know. We have another long-term employee from Friendsview who's worked here now for 4 years, Janelle Stallnecker. Her supervisor thinks she's pretty good too. Always uses her time effectively. Wonderful at taking on new tasks. Never says no to a challenge. Always punctual and efficient. The sort of employees we all love and have caring for us at Friendsview. Janelle, tell us about what you do and what you're going to do.
Okay. I'm a CNA through Care at Home, and I travel from, well, all over the facility to help people in their homes, from small tasks to a little bit larger. And I'm trying to get, well, my big goal is to get my med certificate so I can pass meds throughout the facility as well. And then I want to apply for the next training. I want to be the med trainer, so that's my next goal. Thanks.
Now, sometimes these employees have other commitments, and so I've invited them to stay if they'd like, but leave if they must. Thank you.
Well, I noticed that we're overcompensating as far as the temperature in here. It was cold when I walked in here a little after 5. Now it's kind of warm. Last month we started having the question and affirmation time in our meeting, and we're going to do that again. The first question, I know Friendsview has a board of directors, but I don't know who they are. Where can I see their names? Yeah. Yes.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everybody. You know, I get a ton of junk mail like you do probably in your mail, and I get a pile of junk mail and I go through and rip it all up, and then my wife shreds it. And I got an envelope that, you know, just another promotion. I ripped it up, and all of a sudden $2 bills fell out of it after I had ripped them all up. So I sat down and taped them all together. So, Bill, I thought I would give you these. I'm pretty sure the bank will take them, but if they don't, let me know. All right. I am really privileged to work with a great board, and I'm glad you asked. I'll go through and just quickly introduce each of them and let you know what committees they work on, because you may not be aware of the committees that we have also. Up starting on the left-hand side is Marcia. Marcia serves on the Development Committee, which works on a whole variety of things, and we're real privileged to have her. Susan Doak. Susan is a relatively new board member, and she works on the Resident Planning Committee. And then we have Lora. Laura's a new board member this term. Also, she works on the Finance Committee. The two committees that are probably have the most demand are Finance, as you'd probably expect, and also the Personnel Committee. You may recognize Steve Gully. He's been around and been on the board for a long time. I think he's served as chair. Larry Hampton. Larry's our chair of the Development Committee, and then next to Larry is Dwight Kimberly, who you may recognize from around the community. You also might recognize Catherine Saunders. Catherine used to work, and now she's worked here at Friendsview, and now she's part of the board, and she serves on the Resident Planning Committee and is the chair of that committee. Mark Shelton. Mark is a chair of the Education, College of Education over at Fox, and Mark is new this year, and he serves on the Development Committee. You're probably familiar with this lady here, Carol. I don't think she's here tonight. And then next to Carol, Truman Stone. Truman's been on the board for a while. He's our resident attorney and serves on the Finance Committee. And Debbie Thomas. And you probably know her mother and father-in-law around campus. And Debbie is chair of the Personnel Committee. And then, of course, myself. And then going down to the last row, we've got Scott Winter. Scott's new to the board this year and is serving on the Finance Committee. Darlene, you probably know and recognize, and Darlene serves on the Development Committee and is kind of my in-house guru on board governance. So when I get out of line, she kind of, puts the guardrails out and gets me back in line in terms of proper and legal board governance. She's got a wealth of expertise in that area. Del Zook. Del is been on the board for a while. Del serves on the Finance Committee. And I also forgot to mention a number of these people, particularly the chairs. We have an executive committee in addition to the Finance Committee, Development Committee, Personnel Committee, and Resident Planning. And then these two characters on the end you probably recognize as well. One other thing I wanted to mention, we, in the bylaws, the committees that are mentioned are the committees that are spelled out in the bylaws. We can form ad hoc committees to do special work, and one of the things that I wanted to do as I came in as the chair was to refresh and refocus our strategy. Not our vision and mission, which I hope you're all familiar with, but really refresh our strategy, because the last that was done in the mid 2015 or so, and with the construction complete now, it's time to kind of refresh that. So I have a strategy subcommittee that I've been working with. Susan is on that, Mark Shelton, Carol. Dan is on it, both representing residents, Debbie Thomas, Dell, and then of course Todd from the administration. So I hope that's helpful, and thank you.
Next question is, I think there must be people here at Friendsview who have similar interests as mine. How can I find those people within a community of more than 500 residents? And I'm going to defer, I do have an answer, but I'm going to defer that answer till later when I talk about touchdown profiles. So we're going to skip on. Okay, Todd, can anything be done to improve communication about work orders? I recognize that facility services staff are dedicated to serving residents, but it is disconcerting to submit a work order and then not hear anything for days.
That's a great question, but also a complicated question. I was talking to Tim Towers today, our facility director, and he was explaining that the Touchtown manages all of our buildings. It has all of our inventory and all the systems, the boilers, the heaters, and then throughout the community, the different homes, there's things like we call preventative maintenance, PM, like changing water filters, changing air filters in your furnace. All those things are also loaded in there, and so a lot of those things auto-populate. So suddenly on March 1st, they'll have 50 new work orders added to do filters, all the fridge filters in Springbrook and Meadowway, or things like that. Plus, he said we easily get over 100 work orders a month just from general work orders in the community, not to mention all the things we've been dealing with related to the construction and things that the construction workers are not getting done. We are not currently aware of how to operate the Works Hub program to create auto messages to people who make work orders, but we are in communication with the people who sell us the Works Hub program to see what can be done to send out auto reminders or auto notes. And then we're also looking in ways that you as users of Works Hub can sign in and check the status of your report. Because beyond just responding when you make a work order, saying your work order was received, there's all kinds of things that can make a work order take longer. Like, oh, there's that washer that we need that fits your, or there's a component we need to order and it's going to take a couple weeks to get here, on and on. So we're working with the company to see what can be done, both to do auto responses and to allow you as a user to sign in and go in and see your work orders and see, because each time a maintenance person does a work order, they'll make notes that say, had to order parts, will come back in 2 weeks, or so there's notes in there, and that way our hope is that you'll be able to view that. But this is something in progress that we're working on, and we hope in future months to have some better answers. The next question, I won't even go into because I've written up a statement that I wanted to talk about in my time for words that had to do with culture change, and I've already included the answer to this question in that. So I'm going to pass here. You can remember it and look for the answer in my presentation.
I'm getting another question here. Oh, okay. The question was, did the resident chair forget to turn on the cameras for the video? The answer is yes. Some affirmations. Actually, I did not receive any affirmations. You guys got to do better next month, okay? But I know some things that we are thankful for. One of them is the residents who donate to the resale store and the volunteers that do the work there. That's the way we operate in order to. This meeting is brought to you without any commercials due to the contributions of the resale committee. Janet Herron has been doing a great job in her 5 months now. She's been a quick learner, and we're thankful for the service that she is providing. We're thankful for the neighborhood chairs and the activity group chairs. They put in a lot of time and effort to keep the trains running on time. You may have noticed some new artwork and photos in some of the hallways, and that is thanks to Barbara Westmoreland and Art on the Walls. Yeah. Here is where to send your questions and affirmations. Friendsview Residents Council at gmail.com, or funnel them through your neighborhood chair. We have been looking at characteristics of well-functioning communities. And we have this considerable list of things, and we've looked at the first two. Tonight we're going to look at the fact that communities that operate well promote interaction. And so I want to just touch on some of the ways that the simple ways that we interact. And I'll just start with the meals. Opportunity we have to share meals together is a great way to interact. When Friendsview first opened, when it was just Friendsview Manor, the dining hall, there was assigned seating. There were tables of 4, and I don't know if it was for a month or for a week, but a couple would sit with 2 other people, and then the next month it would rotate. And this was a great way that there was a system by which residents that were, these residents were all coming at the same time. It's kind of like Sutton, except much smaller. And but they had this system, kind of a forced meeting of new neighbors, and so in a matter of several months, you ended up sharing meals with everybody in the facility. now, I mean, back then they didn't have neighborhood meals. Now, one of the great ways we're able to interact is in our neighborhood meals. I think most neighborhoods have a monthly or some kind of periodic meal together, and that's another way where we interact together. Working together is a wonderful way to meet new people and make informal connections, and there's a number of ways and places in which we can do that. Smiling at each other is a good nonverbal way of interacting with others. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about the Touchtown profiles. On Touchtown, in the resident directory, the basic information that is entered for everyone is name and your room number, phone number, email, but there are places for you to go to your profile and edit that and add information. So, anybody want to make a speculation on how many people? We're going to do it by percentage. What percentage of people of total residency have added to their profile beyond just the name, rank, and serial number?
5%.
10% is close, it's 9. And I am going to watch and see how long it takes us to get up to 51%. I think that should be a reasonable goal. And the reason that these profiles are important is that this is the easiest way for us to find people with similar interests. If you fill out the profile, you can list your hobbies, your occupation, anything about yourself. And so this is just a kind of a tour of how this works. So you go to the residence directory, and in the search, you can put in anything to see how many people. There's music. Only 4 people. There's more people that are interested in music than 4. Let's try reading. That's a little better. Okay, what should we do here? Oh yeah, walking. We should have a lot of walkers, hikers. Oh, 3? They'll be in hiking. Oh no, they won't be in hiking. There's only 4 there. Okay, so now let's go see. Use me. There's 5 of us. Dans. We'll go to Dan McCracken, and here is where you go to edit profile, and then now you can see that I didn't do a very good job of doing my profile. Look at all those blank spots. It looks like I don't even have a family. You can do better than that. So that is how you can update your profile and let people know your interests. That's how you can look for other people with similar interests. Lora.
This might be a little disappointing, but I was addicted to the hokey pokey, and then I turned myself around. So you don't have to worry. But I'm shame. That was a good one. Okay, community life. So I'll just talking a little bit about the college bulletin board that we have up, room reservations, and then the new name for the old health center. So that will be the end. But first, this is a little bit outside of community life, but I hear questions sometimes, what is the SALT team? And we just happened to have a mini retreat where we did a lot of planning, a lot of goal setting. It was a very productive time. And so this is the SALT team. It's the Senior Administrative Leadership Team. That's what SALT stands for. And so we are the department heads, as well as our fearless leader, Todd. And we had a great time together. And you can see kind of behind us, there's a whole bunch of sticky pads, pages up on the wall, and that's a lot of planning that we did. So it was fun and productive. So we get a lot of information from George Fox, from PCC. They want a lot of interaction, and it would be a lot of information for us to put it in the e-announcements. And so we were trying to kind of figure out where could we centralize information when it comes to our educational systems here in town. So what we decided to do is the bulletin board right outside of residency services has the middle section is just dedicated for George Fox announcements, anything that comes in from PCC. So if you're looking for additional ways to connect, you can check the board back there. Sometimes students will even drop off surveys. We'll be putting those on the desk on the other side, right in front of residency services. So we'll put some things on the e-announcements, but this is another resource for you if you're interested. So, room reservations. We have a lot of spaces on campus, and Sophia has just been doing a great job of reserving spaces for people, making sure things are running and moving smoothly. So I just wanted to review the process real quick so everybody knows if you want to reserve a space, this is how you can do it. The first way is if you like to handwrite things, you're welcome to grab a hard copy. We call it the purple form. There's one over at the welcome, or some over at the welcome desk, and then also at residency services. But if you like technology and you prefer to do it online, in Touchtown, if you click on Forms, it will pop open a whole list. There's a whole bunch of information in here with maps and calendars and forms, all kinds of things. But if you go to Event Request Reservation Form, and then scroll down and click on Event Request Reservation Form, it will pop up this form that you see up here. But you want to click that top button, and it's a Google form, so it will then send you to that form to fill out. This is just a picture of it here. So this will not be fillable. You have to click on that link at the top for it to be fillable. And then that submits directly to Sophia, and she'll get back to you fairly quickly. She'll send you an email with a PDF of your confirmation. If there's any discrepancies or anything she needs to get in touch with you about, she'll send you an email, and then she can do a follow-up call too if she doesn't hear back. So that's the way that that reservation system works, but this goes directly to her. But we've also added a fun little thing. So if you keep scrolling down, so if you go to the forms again, over here, way down, if you look for shared calendar, the shared calendars that are in the lists, those are real-time calendars that will show you what's available in those spaces in real time. It's something that we've been hearing a lot of requests for, and Sophia finally figured out a really great way to have that happen. So again, when you click into it, you'll want to click the open button, and then it will pop up the calendar for that specific room. So hopefully that's helpful as you're trying to find spaces around campus. And if there's a conflict, Sophia will get in touch with you and she'll find you a spot that works really well for you and accommodates what's also happening on campus. And then lastly, she also just finished some beautiful brochures. You're welcome to get those in print copy. You just need to email her, touch base with her, and she'll get some printed out for you. There's 3 of them in total. But they're fantastic. They're also on Touchtown, and they'll tell you what equipment is in each room. They'll tell you how many people it facilitates the capacity. There's different seating arrangements. There's pictures. There's all kinds of information in there that also relates to catering if you needed something catered. So be on the lookout for that both in Touchtown, or you can ask Sophia for a hard copy. And with no further ado, the new name for the Old Health Center, Canyon View Center. So that was by popular vote, by majority vote, was the new name for the health center. So we'll be working on how we implement that moving forward.
I wanted to talk a little bit about culture change, and you see so much of the things that the way we are working together, and a great example is the event reservation process. That's a new system, and with all the new spaces and all the new people and the new software, they've done a great job figuring out a way for us to be able to find storage or not storage, places we can meet. But there's so much. Thank you for adjusting the heat. There's so much that's happened in the last 20 years. I've been here 20 years now, and of course that's what I think about. In 2023, after paying off, I'm going to tell a little story here to make my case. In 2023 or 2003, after paying off our 40-year debt at Friendsview, we made plans to update the community. Our old nursing home with 2 and 3 bed wards was not what we wanted for our future. We didn't have assisted living or memory care at that time either. And that's something we wanted for our future. We didn't, these were the dreams we had for our future. A board member, Peggy Hansen, worked with the community and created a visual picture of what the community would be. Some of those early board members like Bill here might remember the kind of work that was done. These were things that people wanted to have in the community. Community members visioned what the future could be. The community would include enlarged the community would be enlarged by adding Creekside, Gardenside, and Meadowway. The old health center would be remodeled into private and semi-private apartments. 2 floors of the manor would be remodeled to assisted living, and the lower levels of Gardenside would be memory care. And all this was new to our community. We knew at the time the old health center wouldn't last for long, but it provided tremendous improvement for the near future. In 2018 and 19, we found ourselves outgrowing our health center and our health needs. We had to take the lower level of Creekside wing to meet our expanded needs. The community then wanted to know when were we going to fulfill our 2020 vision of a new health center. The board felt it was time and directed management to develop plans to make this happen. Greystone Consulting and LRS Architects were hired to perform initial plans and develop financial feasibilities. By the end of 2019, plans were in place to proceed with, and we got bonds in place. We borrowed a lot of money and started making progress. We purchased the land out at Springbrook, where we did the expansion there, and community members living in the homes in the footprint of where Sutton is were relocated, and all the gears were set in motion to start. So this was the end of 2019. In March of 2020, we heard about the pandemic. In the months that followed, we set systems in place to keep community members safe. All the meals were delivered to rooms. Takeout food was made available to the back door. Activities were shut down. Staff were trained to don and doff protective equipment. And all around us, we were hearing stories of death. Some facilities in town lost many members. It was a really rough time. But miraculously, Friendsview survived with only one person passing away from COVID. As our construction moved forward, on Sutton, while the COVID was going on, Charles Beals Plaza and Springbrook North, we dealt with staffing shortages. Many healthcare workers were leaving the field as hospital and care communities were working to care for the sick and vulnerable. At home, we had to bring in agency workers to meet the needs of the community. Some of our peers had closed thetheir doors. Well, like Willamette Lutheran in Salem, they just closed their nursing center. Others had to close whole wings of apartments and healthcare areas because they didn't have enough staff. Because of our closed campus model, we were not able to limit our services. We also experienced during this time fires, which required staff to be evacuated from their homes, and floods here at home, like at Pennington, where we had to relocate people out of Pennington during the flood into available inventory that we had. These were difficult times, and many of us remember. Some have been here throughout the whole thing. But there's part of why I'm telling this story is because so many people are new, and I'll explain that here in a minute too. The construction, the pandemic, staffing shortages, agency staff, the floods, and downsizing our apartment inventory wreaked havoc on our financial picture during these days. By the time we reviewed our finances at the end of 2022, we were short on our financial covenants, not enough revenue to meet our expenses. In 2023, we had a reprieve with help from the Employee Retention Credit, but still struggled with revenue due to our construction project, which by this time was 6 months late. That didn't allow us, we had all the expenses, but didn't allow us to bring in the revenue that we should have had during that time. But there were successes also. Since October of 2021, when we had a low of 215 employees in our building, we've added 137 to our workforce. And this is good work from people like Kim, who you just gave a scholarship to, and to our staff that were hired to recruit and build our workforce. Since January of this year, we've been averaging 45 shifts of agency a week, 45 shifts a week. The shifts we have needed to fill have been hard to fill nursing positions and evening and night caregiver positions. Agency use has gradually declined since September of 2023, when we hit a high of 150 shifts a week, 150. We have closed many of our job postings now in dining, housekeeping, maintenance, and in health services, but are still looking for nurses. We just don't have, we've worked hard to recruit, but we aren't finding nurses. And then some of our evening and weekend shifts. Since May of 2022, in less than 2 years, our residency planning department has helped 80 new households, 80 new families join Friendsview in our new homes at Springbrook North and in Sutton Terrace. In the same period, residency planning has helped 52 households move into existing inventory in our community. Altogether, just in this last 2 years, 132 new families or couples or apartments that were filled. There are still 20 apartments left at Sutton, plus 8, the 8 that have already been spoken for but not moved into. There are 20 Creekside apartments because we moved everybody out of Creekside and over to the new Charles Beals. There's still 50 healthcare apartments that are empty throughout the community, and 10 other homes on the campus that are just part of the regular turn. We could easily see in the next couple of years another 100 people join the community. So we had the 132 that joined the last couple of years. We still could see another 100 people or more to fill those additional spaces. This is a lot of change, and our board has challenged our senior management team. That was the picture of us working on our plans to set objectives and key results. This is small set. They don't want a lot of objectives. They want a small that are really important objectives for us to work on that will move us towards stability. Of course, our first goal is to be cash positive. But this will bring in, we will need to bring in enough revenue to 1, meet our expenses, and 2, meet our financial covenants. Our second goal will be to pay off the short-term debt. So the short-term debt is about 1/3 of the total debt that we took out to build all our new construction. And all those first people that move into the new out at Springbrook and here at Sutton, all those people that first move in, that money goes to pay down the short-term debt so that we don't have so much interest to pay for the long term. That's the portion of the bonds used to build Sutton, Springbrook, and Charlesville's Plaza. This will happen when we sell about 13 more apartments. We're really close to being able to pay off that short-term debt. And that'll help us, help our financial picture as we will significantly reduce the amount of interest we have to pay. And once all that's paid, any new revenue that comes in after we've paid off that short-term debt can be used for operations. Right now it has to be used to pay down that short-term debt. The third goal is to manage our costs related to staffing. Now that we've hired enough staff for most of our open positions in dining, health services, maintenance, and housekeeping, we need to turn our focus on managing our staff time to budget. We have to watch our overtime carefully, and we have to reduce our turnover and keep our schedules to schedule. As Dan kind of talked about, that there are a lot of the changes that are occurring in the way we communicate. We are deep into culture change. Systems we had prior to COVID are ancient history. The way we worked with reserving rooms, the way we met as a community, they're all changing, and technology is going to take a big part of that. This fall, we will reinstitute our Holleran engagement survey, the satisfaction survey. The last one we did was in November of 2019. You remember what came? We didn't even present that data to the community with what hit us related to COVID. It wouldn't have made a difference anyway. So we're bringing that back out and starting it this fall. In the meantime, we'll continue to work to roll out communication platforms like Touchtown, which has been a great thing. We'll work with WorksHub technicians to improve our feedback loop with work orders. And I want to thank you all and all the people who aren't here. I hope they watch it on the recording for your patience as we work to recover from these past 4 years and bring ourselves back to making Friendsview the best place to live and work.
Do you know, I think I have a tiny, tiny way you might help that gentleman. Are you aware aware that Friendsview has a group membership at the Aquatic Rec Center? That came into being because at the end of COVID, we had no fitness program. And Friendsview was really encouraging us to use this wonderful facility that's just a block and a half away. And I don't know if there's anyone here in this group today who actually signed up for this group membership. But it's turned out that it's being a bit costly program. So I would like to suggest tonight a way that you might help Friendsview and also help incoming residents, particularly those who do not have one of these healthcare programs that provide free entry to a number of fitness facilities, one of which is the Chehalem Aquatic and Fitness Center. And as it indicates on the bottom, if you have one of these miracle cards, all you need to do is to go over to the Aquatic Center and show them the card. And they will, and tell them that you need to have your name removed from the Friendsview list. And they will do so. And then every time that you come, it will be your insurance company that is charged the fee, not Friendsview. Don't have a card? Give them a call. And they'll probably send you a printed copy with that wonderful little icon that seems to open up miracles. And again, take that card, or it's probably a piece of paper, over to the rec center and tell them that you would like to use your fitness program and to remove your name from the Friendsview list. So I would encourage you, help those who are coming in, as well as helping our community to be able to provide that wonderful service for us to remain healthy and active.
You guys want to leave 5 minutes early?
When you showed your, the thing up there that was insurance, have you made it, has it been made to our insurances that they know that we're going to come in and go down there and get signed up? I mean, we need to know what insurances are going to be taking this, and there's all kinds of them.
The Chehalem Rec Center accepts any card that comes in from one of these companies. Actually, my company is Aetna. The card that they give me is called Silver Sneakers.
Okay, so
So I take the Silver Sneakers card in.
I have Prudential, so do they have a Prudential?
You would have to, I would call your insurance card and company and find out what Prudential names. I don't know which one of these cards relate to Prudential. But that's something I might ask Abel to find out. I would assume they know which company goes with which card. So thank you. We'll bring that back at another time.
Could I speak to that, please?
For those of you who don't know, Lee Boswell is a Medicare, Medicaid expert and a resident.
I don't know about that, but now I'm a certified Medicare counselor. Anyway, I thought I could add some clarification to this. The insurance that Virginia is talking about is your Medicare Advantage plan. And the various Advantage plans have one or more of the programs that were on her list. Chehalem takes all of those from whatever company you come from.
To show the Medicare.
Okay, now, if you have a Medigap plan,
I do.
then you probably don't have those programs. They're pretty peculiar to Medicare Advantage plans. I know that Prudential is not a company that does business in Yamhill County, and that's why I'm asking if you have a Medigap plan. But I know Abel let me know quite some time ago that if we were to use our Medicare Advantage plans over there with, the programs that already come with them, then that wouldn't be coming out of his budget.
If people have further questions, you might try to talk with Lee after the meeting or get in touch with Abel. Next meeting is April 15th, right back here. And thank you so much for coming. I appreciate your participation in these meetings.